Guys, I think I went to Japan in the wrong month. What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel and to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the fact that as of today, as of this video uploading to my account, Demon Slayer is now in theaters in Japan, and I have 2 months to go. So you might be thinking like, Hannah, what is there to make a video about because you don't get to see it yet, you have to wait a little while longer, and you guys know that I will take any chance to make a video about Demon Slayer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of just discuss how I'm gonna handle the next couple of months, because I feel like it's gonna be a little bit different than people might expect. And then I'm also gonna talk about the fights that are gonna happen in this movie, so I'll put a manga spoiler warning before that. It's just kind of me talking to you. That's what today's gonna be. But before we get into today's video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts. If you're in Japan and you're gonna see it before it hits theaters in September here in America, or if you're in a different country where it hits theaters in August, let me know in the comments when you get to see it, and if you've already seen it, let me know what you thought without spoilers, please. No posting spoilers of the movie, please. Which is kind of the perfect segue into my first thing that I wanted to talk about. So fun fact, I am actually going to not go completely MIA on social media, but I am going to go as off of social media as I possibly can. And there's a couple reasons for this. Number one, and the main reason, is I don't want to see leaks, I don't want to see pictures, videos, information. I already know how long the movie is, and that's fine with me because that's something that gets released before the movie comes out. It's like usually on the website when you book your tickets. I don't mind that, but I don't want to know where it ends chapter-wise. I don't want to see any videos, and the way the internet is, I know, especially when it hits theaters in other countries next month in August, there's gonna be leaks everywhere. People are gonna post them. They are not going to properly tag it as a spoiler. So at the end of the day, yes, I am a manga reader, but there is a level of surprise that I get when I go to this movie because I don't know exactly how far they're gonna get. I don't know how they're going to adapt it. I don't know what it's gonna look like. I don't know what the voice acting is gonna be like. So I don't want to see any of that going into it so that I can go into this movie with still a little bit of a surprise. Now I say I'm not gonna go completely MIA. That is simply because I'm going to be continuing to post to TikTok, to Instagram, here, all that fun stuff. However, I might be slower if there is news. I'm still gonna try and keep up with news. I just might not see it as quickly because I'm not opening up social media and just scrolling like I normally do. So just be prepared. There might be some longer delays in between information coming out and me making a video about it, just because I'm gonna be trying to not go on Twitter at all. That's really hard because all of the official stuff comes out on Twitter first, and then usually when it comes out on Instagram or anywhere else for that matter, it's through like an anime news website, which many times they get it all correct, but sometimes they don't. So I like going to the source, and that source is always on Twitter. So I'm not deleting Twitter. I'm gonna probably check it once a day, make sure nothing crazy is happening, but Twitter is also gonna be a breeding ground for leaks, so I don't know what to do here. But that's my main goal, is the next 2 months, I am going to be very, very, very little social media usage. I think that'll also just be good for me. I have noticed a little bit of a struggle with some of the hate comments I've been getting lately. They haven't just kind of rolled off my back like they usually do. I have had a lot going on in life recently, especially since getting back from Japan, and I think I've just noticed that I need to take a step back as well before I get too crazy. So that's kind of a little added anecdote, just a little tidbit about my life, is I'm still working on the ability to let the negative comments just kind of flow rather than reading them and being upset by them. So I think kind of going off of social media and not looking at the comments on like TikTok and Instagram, that sort of thing, will help a lot. But honestly, that's kind of my plan. If there are updates throughout the next couple of months before it hits theaters here in the States, I will let you all know. I will keep you all updated. It might just take a little bit longer, but outside of that, I'm not gonna be super active on social media, if at all. I'm not gonna be talking about leaks. I don't want leaks. Please don't comment leaks or post leaks. You will be automatically blocked. If I see a leak on Twitter, like, I immediately block that person because I just don't want to see it. And if you're someone who posts it at least with a spoiler tag where it like hides it and you have to click on it in order to see it because you want to see it, that's okay. I don't condone posting leaks at all. It's still illegal, but if you're going to, at least do it that way, like, please. And a lot of people have been asking too, they're like, there's not really gonna be a leak issue this time around, is there? There is, absolutely. The way people were responding to the leak issue with that like sneak preview a couple months ago tells me that there is absolutely going to be leaks of this movie, and I don't want to see any of them. So please, 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 before you post a leak, think about two things. One, tag it properly so that people who don't want to see it don't automatically see it. And two, are you ready to pay the fines that might come for you if you post it because it is illegal? Just think about those two things. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, overall, I'm glad it's only 2 months. It's actually less than 2 months. At the time of me recording this, it's exactly 2 months from today that it's hitting theaters in North America. I think it's gonna go by fast. It might be the slowest 2 months of the year, I don't know. It's about the same amount of time as it's been since I got home from Japan, which feels like it's been a whirlwind and I'm still like not fully back into normal life. So I feel like it'll happen very fast, but I also feel like because there's something so big that I'm waiting on, it's gonna take a while. So this is the hard part about it being a movie. This was, if you've been watching me for a while, one of my main grievances with them doing it as a movie. When it's just a season, we get a delay of a few hours usually only like 3 to 4 hours. But when it's a delay of a movie, we have to wait for them to go through all the localization paperwork, to finish dubbing it, all that stuff, and it takes a little while. Now I know that I am lucky because I was not in the fandom during Mugen Train, and Mugen Train had, I think it was like 6 or 7 months in between. That would have been awful, that would have been horrible. If that happened this time around, I think I would still be crying actually, in just like constant tears. So I'm really, really happy that it's only a little less than 2 months, but it's still going to be a very long 2 months. So you can do your part, just don't post leaks, and if you absolutely feel like you have to for whatever reason, just make sure you censor them properly. Okay, now that I talked about kind of my plan over the next 2 months, let me talk really briefly about my plan for when the movie comes out, because I don't know if I'm gonna have really an opportunity to talk about this much until it happens. So a lot of people have been wondering, because I posted a reaction to the trailer, if I'm going to wait and react to the movie when it like comes to Crunchyroll. No, absolutely not. I am so sorry. I am not that patient. I am not a reactor. I am a YouTuber who happens to post reactions some of the time. If this were like a medalist movie, then yeah, I'd probably consider it, but I've been in the Demon Slayer fandom for a long time. I've read the manga. I am going to see that movie as soon as possible. In fact, more than likely I will see it on the 11th because most theaters will show 1 or 2 showings as a preview the day before it actually comes out. So I'm gonna see it on the 11th, I'm gonna see it on the 12th, I'm probably gonna go see it again on the 13th, and so on and so forth. So I'm not gonna be posting a reaction. So if you were hoping for one, I'm so sorry. I have no patience for that kind of stuff, and I'm not a reactor, I'm just a YouTuber. But I have 3 videos as of right now planned. One will be kind of a vlog of going to go see it. I'm not a big fan of vlogs, but I will vlog that day, where I'll just kind of talk about the excitement building and get to the theater and show off what it looks like. And then I will cut to after I see it and just give my immediate like emotions without spoilers. The second video I'll make will be a spoiler-free review where I will just talk overall how I felt about the movie without diving into spoilers to give people some time to see the movie, because I know not everyone's going to be able to see it opening weekend. Some people might have to wait and that sort of thing. And then the third video I will make will be a very hefty spoilery review. There could be more content that will come. It kind of depends on what kind of announcements are happening, if there's any events to attend, anything like that. But right now, that is the game plan. These will all come out kind of consecutively. I would assume the vlog I'll be able to get out probably opening day on the 12th, since the vlog will be hopefully from the day before, and then the non-spoiler review will get out the next day, and then the spoiler review I'll get out the day after. So I'll be killing my fingers by doing lots of editing, but I will do that for you guys. But that is the plan, that is kind of the production schedule of what I intend to do. There will be more videos, there will be me talking about like small bits of it in length, especially because I'm probably gonna be going to this theater to see it at least 5 times, if not more. But that's kind of the plan as it stands right now, subject to change, but those 3 videos are kind of locked in. Also, random fun fact, this movie comes out a week before my birthday, so that's fun. Okay, finally, this video is very random, but I'm gonna talk now about some manga spoilers. So spoiler warning ahead for the rest of the video. I'm gonna be talking about the confirmed fights that will be in this movie. Since the trailer came out, now we know exactly what's gonna be covered because they specifically showed certain fights kind of, and then they did not show other fights, so we know those are gonna be in later movies. So if you don't wanna know manga spoilers, this is your time to stop the video. I'm gonna be kind of rating them and talking a little bit about what I'm most looking forward to, so I have to dip into some manga spoilers for this. So I'll give you 3, 2, 1, okay. So let's talk about the 3 fights that will be happening in this movie. Those fights, of course, will be Shinobu versus Doma, Zenitsu versus Kaigaku, and Tanjiro and Gyu versus Akaza. Now, if you've been watching me for any number of time, you probably know what fight will be my #1 fight, but I'm gonna talk about that in a moment. We're gonna start with my 3rd favorite fight of the movie, so technically least favorite. However, I can't stress enough, I am very excited to see this fight animated, and that is Shinobu versus Doma. The only real reason why it is number 3 on my list is I just find the second half of the fight against Doma to be a little bit more interesting and emotional. As someone who does love Shinobu, I still don't find this fight that emotional. In fact, the first time I read it, I was kind of in shock. It is very quick and right off the bat, and kind of introduces to us as an audience what this battle is going to ensue. We are going to lose people because we lose someone very important right off the bat, but the way it happens is very kind of shocking. So it doesn't necessarily make me cry, it more makes me like uncomfortable and like sad in a way that's hard to explain. The second part of the fight against Doma will absolutely make me cry, but that's gonna come in the second movie since we did not even see Inosuke or Kanao in this trailer, which to me that's automatic confirmation they won't be in this movie. I'm really looking forward to it. I think the ice power that Doma has is gonna be very interesting. I'm excited to see Shinobu fight a bit more because I do love her and I love her fighting style, so I do hope they add a little bit to it as well. But out of the 3 battles, because we have some really spectacular fights in this movie, it just finds itself the one I'm looking forward to technically the least. Okay, so the number 2 fight that I'm looking forward to is Zenitsu versus Kaigaku. Now, I have my qualms with Zenitsu as a whole. I've actually been contemplating making a video about it, but I don't like making videos about some of my like negative opinions because I know a lot of people love Zenitsu. I love Zenitsu, but I have a lot of issues with him. That being said, this is the best moment with Zenitsu in the entire story. Like, hands down, 100%. I am very excited to see this, and I think this battle honestly has the potential to take the spotlight of this movie. I don't necessarily think it absolutely will because of the fight that I'm looking forward to the most kind of being a big deal and a bit more personal to us as an audience, which we'll talk about in a moment. But I do think that people are going to see Zenitsu in a very different way, and I love this fight. The only issue with it is that it's very quick. However, I don't think it needs a ton of extra time. The whole point of this fight is that it's over very quickly, that Zenitsu pulls out his 7th form that he made, and it's over like that. I don't think they need to add a whole lot of fluff to the fight to make it interesting because it's supposed to be short. However, I do think the fact that it is very short is going to make more people down the line maybe forget about it a little bit more, especially depending on how much we get of the fight after it in this movie. So I really, really like this 1v1. It's very emotional. I definitely cry when you know, he kind of sees Gramps and Gramps tells him that he's proud of him. And I also find Kaigaku a very interesting villain. Actually, a lot of people usually are surprised by this, but while I hate Kaigaku with every fiber of my being, I still find him actually very interesting, and I think a lot of people brush over how interesting of a character he is just because he's a jerk, which I get. But to me, I find him about as interesting as Doma. Doma just gets way more love, and I think it's because Doma does have some stuff in his backstory where it's like, okay, yeah, you're definitely a victim in a certain way. Kaigaku, however, I've said this before, I'll say it again, Kaigaku is realistic. If you are in that situation, he represents the very normal human way to react. Most of us are not going to react to this situation correctly. So anyway, I could talk about Kaigaku for a little while, but I do find that fight to be very, very good. I'm looking forward to it just a little bit more. I think it'll be just so spectacularly animated whenever they've animated thunder breathing. It's been beautiful, so I'm very much looking forward to that fight. But of course, they are up against very, very tough competition, and the fight that includes my two favorite characters. So I think you all can assume that that's gonna be the fight that I'm most looking forward to in this movie, and that of course is Tanjiro and Gyu versus Akaza. So fun fact, this fight is actually my favorite fight in the entire story. And there's a lot of reasons for this. My number one reason is Tanjiro and Gyu's dynamic in this fight is amazing, and I think when I read this fight the first time is when I truly fell in love with the story as a whole and with Gyu. I feel like I was a bit indifferent towards him until this happened, and I saw how much he desired to protect Tanjiro, but Tanjiro didn't always need that protection because he's gotten so much stronger. And there's just this like emotional back and forth between the two of them. Like there's this connection that they share. And what's fun about that is Gyu is the character that we met in episode 1. Gyu is the person who believed in Tanjiro and Nezuko first. No one, like you can say all these people believe in them now, but Gyu is the reason why they're alive in the first place. And the reason they're alive in the first place is because he believed in them. It took him a minute, but he got there. So I think that that's like my number one reason for loving this fight. Number two reason is Tanjiro has just a lot of really badass moments in this fight. Like truly, like the see-through world. Oh, that's gonna be so good. And just how many times Gyu kind of is like, oh, like you're like Hashira level. What happened? And it feels very natural because he just went through that training arc, and this is our first time seeing him truly fight since then. But just the sweet, sweet revenge of this fight, the parallels of how the last fight with Akaza went, where Tanjiro couldn't do anything, partially because he was weaker, but also partially because he was already injured. So getting to see him be a part of this fight, and in my opinion, kind of carry it. Like, yeah, Gyu saved Tanjiro a couple times, but I think Tanjiro saved Gyu a lot more than Gyu did. So, I like this fight because it feels personal to the audience. I like this fight because we all feel like we have business with Akaza. He's the only demon where we really feel that way because he's the only demon who has killed a beloved character in the story so far. So I think that it has the potential to take the spotlight of this entire movie. It kind of depends though. So for those of you who don't know, the movie length time is, I believe, 2 hours and 35 minutes, which, thank God. As soon as they released that trailer and I was like, okay, it's called Akaza Returns, that definitely means that Akaza versus Tanjiro and Gyu is in this movie, which I was considering the idea that maybe they were going to just really fluff up Shinobu versus Doma and Zenitsu versus Kaigaku, and that was gonna be the first movie. So once it was confirmed that they were gonna be in it, I was like, okay, I think I know what this means. First, I think it means that Sunrise Countdown will be the third movie, and second, it means that they're fitting a lot more into this movie than I originally thought. 2 hours and 35 minutes is a great runtime. It's long, but I think that's good because I think that'll give them plenty of time to get through the fight versus Akaza, where there is a lot of components to it. There, of course, is the fight. There is the backstory. There's a lot to it, and Do I think that the backstory is gonna be in this movie? I don't know. That's the thing that I'm not sure on. I could see it happening, but I could also very much see them ending this movie on Tanjiro beheading him, which would make for a pretty decent cliffhanger. So I don't know where they're gonna end it, and that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to stay away from leaks, because I don't want to know where it ends. I want to go into it as blind as I can be as a manga reader. But anyway, it's my favorite fight in the entire story. I love the dynamic between Tanjiro and Gyu, and I love the dynamic between them and Akaza. And the backstory is very, very good. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to hear the voice acting. I just know that I will be blessed. I will be blessed because Hanai-san never has let me down, and I know he won't. It's so nice going into this just knowing that he's gonna slay, like literally. But another thing that I'm very much looking forward to is the soundtrack. I cannot wait to hear how they mesh Akaza's theme with Gyu and Tanjiro's themes, which Tanjiro themes they're going to use because he has a few. He of course has Kamado Tanjiro no Uta, he has the water breathing theme, and he has the Hinokami Kagura theme. So I think it's going to be mostly the Hinokami Kagura one, just because I don't think he uses water breathing at all during this fight, but oh, it's gonna be so good. And yeah, that's my ranking. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. I haven't fully come to terms with the fact that I'm actually going to see my favorite fight in this show animated in just a couple of months, because I was kind of living, I don't know if you can call it denial, but I was like, it's not gonna happen in this. They're gonna give that like the whole second movie. And now I'm eating my words, which I always said, these are just predictions. I could be wrong. Like, I don't work for Ufotable or Aniplex or any of them. I'm happy about it because I can go to this movie knowing that I am about to be blessed. And I was already going to be blessed, but now I'm gonna be blessed more. So anyway, this video ended up being way longer than I was expecting because you can pretty much call me a professional yapper at this point, but that's the plan. I will try and keep you all updated as much as I can, but I am going to be staying away from social media. So there's gonna be a lot of Demon Slayer videos coming out. However, they're not gonna really have anything to do with the movie unless there's updates that are happening. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. I'm at Hannah Malay on Instagram and TikTok, and at lookingnerdy on X. But as a reminder, X, I'm really not going to be on X for the next 2 months. So you can follow me. Nothing's going to happen there until the movie's out. So, but a lot will happen on there once I've seen the movie, just so you know. Lots of thoughts, lots of screaming. If you want a front row seat to my immediate screaming, follow me on X, because that's where all the fun will be, and I won't be posting like any information. I'll just be screaming. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Mata ne!